What's going on, y'all? I'm KM Best, and the early Marvel Snap meta is full of a bunch of BS. There are a ton of different decks that are all trying to scam you in different ways, and if you're tired of getting scammed, I've got a deck that I think matches up very well into all of these decks that are just trying to put a million points of power on the board in pretty finicky ways. Now, as you can see, we have named this deck the Police because it is the cops of the format. Someone shows up, they're like, I'm about to do something so cool, and then we jam them up so hard that they never come back to a conquest again. Now, the way we do this is by interacting with their plays as much as possible. You see, an early Spider-Ham can disrupt a lot of these late-game decks. You blow up something like a Null, you blow up something like a Galactus, you hit a She-Hulk in the Moon Girl double-up deck. There's a bunch of good hits off the Spider-Ham. We also have Enchantress and Shang-Chi. Those do pretty obvious things, but Enchantress is actually a little bit better than Shang-Chi right now because so many of our opponents are going to be trying to scam us with things that are ongoing. So you're going to see, Devil Dinosaurs. You're going to see things like Iron Man out of Mr. Negative, maybe an Iron Man Mystique. If you can hit the Iron Man first and they don't actually have a target for the Mystique, that's obviously great. The basic thing we're doing here, though, is just we're playing Scam Busters. And what that means is you do have to take this shell and customize it to the scams that you want to bust, all right? If you are going to be losing to, Nimrod decks, you're going to want to bring in an Armor and a Cosmo, right? I actually think Shang-Chi is a little bit, replaceable right now because of the truly insane amount of, okay, there's Phoenix Force scam decks. Obviously, those are pretty good when they go for, the Human Torch stuff. You have an answer with Killmonger. You have an answer with Shang-Chi. But if they go for, the Nimrod stuff, you need something for that. That is one of the weaknesses that this deck does have right now. You can't fit everything in there, but you can come pretty damn close. And obviously, you can always, hit a Nimrod with a Spider-Ham. You have outs basically everywhere. So let's go down card by card, and we'll talk about what each card is doing, what is and is not replaceable, and what you can do to make this deck work for you. Korg is our synergy piece. It goes with Darkhawk, and really, we're just playing Darkhawk so that we get enough power on the board to win games. Generally speaking, one of the weaknesses of decks like this is they manage to remove everything your opponent is doing, but they don't have enough oomph on their own to win games. Darkhawk provides that oomph. Korg disrupts your opponents. Remember how many of the decks that your opponents are playing are relying on getting specific cards in specific orders. It's part of why I like the Darkhawk stuff right now. Decks like Living Tribunal really need to draw Living Tribunal. You make that less likely with Korg. That's actually really important. Just reducing their consistency is enough to get you in the ball game, and then you have all these interactive tools as well. Spider-Ham is just great. You can fit it in here, and because you can fit it in here, you do. There are some decks that absolutely fold to this. This is mostly targeting things like the Moon Girl double-up deck. Hitting She-Hulk there is great. Living Tribunal decks, obviously, if you can Spider-Ham Living Tribunal, it is phenomenal. So you also have, some outs. Maybe you'll hit a Hela with it if you run into Hela stuff. It's just got a lot of targets among the sort of BS decks variety, right? There's a lot of decks that are trying to high roll you. Spider-Ham stops some of them from high rolling you, and even when it doesn't, it's still pretty good. Zabu is glue. A lot of the cards in this deck cost 4. A lot of our ability to be flexible in this deck comes from Zabu, and a lot of our best snaps involve playing Zabu on 2 into Rock Slide on 3. Now, Zabu on 2 isn't the only thing you can do. Of course, you have Jeff, you have Spider-Ham, you have Korg, you have other plays early, but the delta between your other games and Zabu games is pretty significant because of how much Zabu enables you to play not just early, but late. The crucial turns to have Zabu out are turn 3, so you can play a 4-drop early, and turn 6, so you can play 2 4s. Now, given there's some magic running around, there's a little bit of fudging here. You're going to be able to do more stuff in those magic games, especially because the things people are using their magics for are mostly things that die to your tech cards, so do keep that in mind as well. Jeff is excellent. Generally, this is a card that is good against, a lot of the Professor X scam decks. Jeff is a good card to play there because they tend to be pretty minimal, right? So if you're going up against a Thanos deck that is trying to Prof X scam you, what you can do is you Killmonger before they Prof X, kill most of the stuff on their board. Their Prof X gets significantly worse, and you can actually add a Jeff into it. This isn't always a guarantee. That deck is very good at adding power into those closed-off lanes, but it makes them think about what you can and can't do. It makes their plays a lot scarier, and Jeff is just generally going to be the best option for this slot if you can get him, because no other card is going to answer Professor X or make them think about Professor X in that way. There just isn't another card that can replicate what Jeff does for this list. Killmonger is a card I tried not to run and then swiftly realized I needed to add in to the deck. Even though I was already like kind of favored in some of these matchups, I just feel like Killmonger's value against the Thanos list, against the Moon Girl double up list that is playing a lot of 1-drops early, it's pretty significant. Killmonger is not going to be great all the time. Sometimes he's just going to be a 3/3 that you play and it kind of sucks. But against Thanos, you need a way to keep them under control, and you need a way to make their Professor X's a lot scarier. Jeff, Killmonger, and maybe a 4 that you play is kind of how you do this. You want to put them in situations that are hard for them to deal with. Killmonger kills so many things right now. Thanos stones are everywhere. Nebula and Sunspot are running around still too. It's going to be pretty decent for you. The beef. Darkhawk is the major big threat in this list. Although I will say that there were a surprising amount of games where I just never managed to get him on the board, and it was like kind of okay. A lot of close ones, but generally having something that scales as heavily as Darkhawk does, something that's going to be like 8 to 12 power that you can play reasonably well after a Zabu along with a tech card, is pretty damn strong. So again, this is one of the few cards in our deck that doesn't do disruption to our opponent, but it is a card that scales off of the disruption. One note, though, is that it is a little weaker than it used to be. Because of the amount of people playing Magic, it does end up usually about 2 power less than it would have in previous metas. And we don't actually have any ways to answer those magics, so it is kind of a problem. Shang-Chi is actually, I would say, the less useful of the major tech cards right now, just because there are so many decks that are trying to do ongoing things to you. Mr. Negative, the Destroy decks with Null. There's just a ton of things that are trying to ongoing you to death. Thanos, of course. And not too many things that are trying to big number you to death. And so Shang gets a little bit less useful. I still do have him in here, but if you want to make a hard read and replace him with like Rogue and just really beat those people up, I don't actually hate it. Rogue is the card I was trying to get in here. I opted for Killmonger over it, but like honestly, I would not hate it. There is just so much ongoing right now. And it's actually a little bit of a better hit off your Iron Lad than an Enchantress is. So, you know, give or take. I just wanted to be able to play Killmonger so that I could have something for the Thanos. I think that it's a little better than Rogue in that matchup, but there are some matchups that Rogue is absolutely just going to ruin your opponent in. And Shang-Chi is just, like, he's a little safety valve. He's not going to be played a lot, but when he is good, there's nothing that can replicate him, basically. Like, if you are not playing Shang-Chi, that's usually fine, because it means there's no good targets for Shang-Chi, and you can try to win the game with the rest of your cards. Enchantress is just the best card in this deck right now. We've gone over a couple times in this video just how important it is to be able to turn off ongoings, and yeah, you need to have an out to ongoings, or people are going to combo all over you in this metagame. There are Living Tribunal decks. There are Null decks. There are negative decks. There are so many things that just absolutely eat it entirely when you play an Enchantress on them, or at least get a lot easier to beat when you play an Enchantress on them. And this is the kind of card that is doing a ton of heavy lifting in this deck because of how good it is right now. If Enchantress were not as good as it is right now, I probably would not want to play this deck, but it is so damn strong right now. There is a target in almost every game. You're gonna get value out of this. Rock Slide sort of kind of goes without mentioning. Rock Slide is there for synergy with Darkhawk and for further disruption of your opponent's likely fragile combo deck. So our job, as always with this deck, is to just make them as inconsistent as possible, and then when they do pop off, we stop it with our tech cards. Rock Slide's phenomenal. Zabu into Rock Slide, one of your best possibles. And if they're magicking, they're likely to draw more rocks, honestly. Granted, it does make your Darkhawk smaller, but like putting the rocks in there really reduces their consistency. A lot of these Magic combo decks are playing Magic so that they get an extra draw, and you get a real shot at denying not just one, but 2 draws when you go Korg and Rock Slide. Iron Lad is actually a little bit more of a speculative addition to this list. He was pretty damn mediocre when I played him. He hit a lot of Korgs, right? But I think it's kind of fine to have just a card you're happy playing on 3. This is a card that has very low downside most of the time. Going Zabu into Iron Lad has pretty high upside. Like, obviously, there's some mid hits. There's some mediocre hits. But the downside is a 4/6. And the upside is something completely game-breaking, like a second Rock Slide, a second Darkhawk. Even a Zabu hit is, like, pretty ridiculous. Like, there's a lot of good things that this card can do. Hit a Jeff, hit whatever. Like, there's good stuff here. It gets a lot of work done, and it's just a safe play almost all the time. That said, you do have to keep in mind what's in your deck. If you have an Enchantress in your deck, you probably aren't going to be playing Iron Lad on your Darkhawk lane. So remember that. Stature. She's back. I actually am into Black Bolt Stature now, so I guess we'll talk about them as a package and bring up my man, Blackagar Boltagon. I think it's easier to talk about why we weren't running these cards and why we are now. So the basic reason behind previous iterations of this list not running these cards was that they just weren't going to be big enough for you to actually deal with what your opponents were doing, right? Our old versions of this list needed to play Invisible Woman and Killmonger so that they could beat Bounce, right? And our tech cards really aren't good against Bounce, so we needed to go for more high roll. Now, though, our tech cards are really damn good. Enchantress is amazing. It's just an amazing card right now. And we don't need to be playing for pure high roll with our Black Bolt Stature, like, slots, right? We don't need to be playing like Iron Man to high roll the Iron Lad. We don't need to be doing that anymore. We can just play Black Bolt and Stature again. Again, we are getting further disruption to our opponent. Now, granted, some of the times you're going to hit your own rock. That's fine. That means they drew a rock. You're good with that. But disrupting your opponent with Black Bolt on 5 is legit. And there are just so many different disruptive tactics in this list. You have the rocks. You have the Black Bolt. You have the Spider Ham. You have the tech cards. You're going to be able to get something going in most games. And that is what I think the major appeal of this list is to me, is that it's just going to be safe. It's going to be good. You're going to be able to get things going. You're going to have good matchups into a lot of different things. None of them are going to be incredibly overpowering. You're going to have to be smart about it, but you're going to have decent matchups across the board. And I think that's the appeal of a list like this. So let's talk about substitutions. I know not everyone has Iron Lad, so if you don't have Iron Lad, I would recommend swapping in Miles Morales and adding a move card alongside him. So you have, maybe you can use the Killmonger slot for that. Maybe you use the Spider Ham slot for that. It does cost you a little bit. You can run something like Polaris. You can run something like Silk. I thought about Juggernaut for a little bit, just for further disruptive tactics. It's iffy. I'm not sure that one actually plays, but there are things you can try. Basically, if you don't have Iron Lad, I would suggest you get Miles in there and make sure that you can actually do something with Miles, not just Jeff. One more move card will be likely necessary for him to be good. I know people are going to ask, what about the Jeff replacement? And I got nothing for you. That's Jeff. He's the only card that does what he does. He is incredibly important right now because of the Prof X scammers, because of the Spider-Man scammers. You just need him. Like, you could play the deck without him, but you'll do worse in those matchups, and you need to be aware of that. You could probably talk me into running this card. I opted for the different version. I'm just playing Enchantress. I want to shut them down. But I've been playing a decent amount of Super Skrull recently, and it's really good right now. Like, if Enchantress is good, Skrull is good. I've opted for Enchantress because her downside is significantly higher. When she's bad, she's still a 4/5. When Skrull is bad, he is absolutely unplayable. So I do think there is something to be said for that. But if you want to, like, really try to get these people, if you want to really scam them, this isn't the worst idea you could have. Normally, I would tell you never run armor in a Shang-Chi deck. But if you keep running into these Nimrod Phoenix Force decks, Armor is actually going to be better than Shang-Chi in that matchup, and it is an actual consideration you're going to have to make. Armor Cosmo tends to be the package that you want to consider running there. Obviously, it's also bad with your own Killmonger, but the point I'm trying to make here is you can really customize the deck, the shell overall, to fit the matchups you're trying to target. Cosmo really almost made this list. It's just hard for me to want to play him with all of our ongoing things that we have, or on reveals that we have that are usually pretty key. If you curve out a Cosmo, you're telling your opponent, hey, it's safe to do your bullshit here. And I think most of the time, you don't want to give your opponent that gift. You don't want to be letting them know, hey, it's totally fine to do that here. It's all good. You can do your living Tribunal combo there, and I can't Enchantress it. I just don't like doing that. Your mileage may vary. It's a very powerful card into, like, the Nimrod stuff. It's a very powerful card into the, like, Shuri stuff. It's a good card. It is still very, very, very strong. Cosmo does a lot of work against things that are reliant on reveals. I just think I'm a little more targeted in different areas right now. We even have Enchantress for, like, if they're wonging us or something. Like, we can minimize the damage from stuff like that while still being able to actually, like, play the game. All right, y'all, I hope you enjoyed that look. We're going to jump into some Conquest gameplay with this list on the back end. I hope you enjoy seeing how I tend to operate it. I think that's like a pretty useful thing to learn from. So if you want to take a look at me playing this list, stick around. If not, I hope you enjoyed so far. If you got this far, I think you probably did. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to hit that like and subscribe button, leave a comment. I still read them all. I know that's weird, but I still do. I probably will like your comment. I haven't missed the comment like in 2 months, unless it got held up by the filter. I don't check that, I'll be honest with you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Have a good one. As always, I've been Cam Best. Stick around for some gameplay. I'll see you in the next one. Is Chavez better than Quicksilver? You can go into Lockjaw while Chavez can't. That's a really good question. That's a really good question. You're right. Oh. Waking up to pee is a nightmare. I'm glad I don't have to do that. Oh, really? I don't know if it's worth it, but I'm gonna try. You pee without waking up? Hell yeah. Oh my god. Is he cooking? Alright, is he cooking? Let me know. I'm ready for you, Mr. Boomerang. Probably not just get value now, yeah. That's interesting. Play Tribunal? No. God, this fucking dream dimension. This fucking dream dimension, it kills me. Didn't draw Enchantress. Didn't draw shit. Oh, no dream dimension. Okay. I'm into that. Do we think they go for it now? This is what I was afraid of with the Ench, right? Then again, we get, like, Stature, Darkhawk, Miles next turn. It's not the end of the fucking world. Oh, it doesn't move. I'm an idiot. Tie. Win the tiebreaker. Holy fuck, that was so odd. I feel very lucky to have won that. All right, did you cook? Let me go read your dish. All right. Okay, Barbie may be more popular than Oppenheimer. Barbie may be more popular in Japan, but Oppenheimer definitely had a bigger impact on the country. Chat, what do we think about that joke? Is he cooking? Is he cooking? You can vote in the poll now. Oh, fuck. You know which country he had an impact on. Boy, this hand's butt cheeks. I mean, there was cooking involved. All right, so that one also might get someone banned. That one is some trash ass. That's awful. That's terrible. You should feel bad about yourself. There was cooking involved. Ugh. Heinous. That's worse than the original joke. That's worse than the original one. Oh my god. Worst shit I've ever heard in my life. We are gonna hold the Korg in case we want to play into Morag next turn. Wait, no, our draws are all stuff that let us play into Morag next turn. Okay. All right, he is emphatic. All right, so let's see if they thought they were gonna get a fucking Mystique out of this. We're the best. We're the best. Are we actually the best? Can we still get fucking shit on? We discarded their Silver Surfer. What is the thing that we do to get shit on here? Ironheart? Yeah, it's like Ironheart, but then they lose that one and we win this one. I don't know. Let's go. If it is Ironheart, we are... Yeah, see, like, they probably lose the... Oh, my God. Okay, I got it right. I got it right. I got it right. I was like, there's no fucking way it hits here that many times. That was basically my read here, was there's no fucking way if they Ironheart here, it hits here that many times. And then it hit here twice in the first one, and I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I was like, are you fucking kidding me? There's no way. There's no way, chat. There's no way. Approximately how much value does this deck have? 3x. But you knew that already. Why you got tape on your bottle? Because they don't sponsor me. This company, the company whose logo is on the bottle, my girlfriend brought it back from a road trip. And they don't sponsor my ass. Why not use the sponsored one? I don't have a... Oh, you mean this? It's too small. Like, shout out to Gamer Subs and all that, but it's just too small. Huge shout out to Gamer Subs, don't get me wrong. There goes Surfer again! Wait, ordering here doesn't matter, but it's good practice, right? We move the Jeff, we play the Zabu, or no. We do it in the other order just because, like, arrow propriety, right? And I just double-checked that this Stature is this game. Arrow, Kek, W. No, I get it. I feel you. Anyway, you can play this deck if you want to be the police, right? Like, you want to be the cops? I bet you do. We think this deck can beat Thanos? I kind of wonder. Because, like, it is a Darkhawk deck. Anyway, enjoy your not Ironheart over there. Okay, that's 14. That's a good number. Nice. Nice. It's a good number. I'm happy for you. Yeah, this is the police. This deck is the police. People are playing a bunch of, like, oh, I'm gonna combo your ass. No, you're not. Still no Zabu's on 2, ever. Uh-huh. What a fucking bullshit game we are playing. What an absolute pile of garbage this is. Oh. Okay. Ham on point flavor-wise. It ain't bad. Is that the 3x value, Hawk? You know it is. I mean, we just get Spider-Man here and die. It's a big problem. Does Enchantressing the armor even work? I don't think it does. Top deck Jeff, easy. Why did they snap on that? Oh, they're the combo deck. Are we dead here? I didn't realize they were the combo deck. The combo deck actually beats us. How was the Jeff supposed to help us anyway? How was the Jeff supposed to help us anyway? This is the matchup where we really want Killmonger, but really we're just trying to Spider-Ham their She-Hulks, right? Like, this is the deck that folds to Killmonger, but if they do end up not Killmongering, we're in a ton of trouble. All right. I mean, I'm not saying we're always winning here. I don't think we are. But if we can get a Darkhawk, it's going to be fucking enormous. Yeah, they're doing the Moon Girl combo. Where's our Ham? Fuck, dude. Ham is not here. What about dropping Nebula for Killmonger? That I buy. Dropping Nebula for Killmonger makes a ton of sense to me in the context of this deck and Thanos. Whoa, they're just out of here. Okay. They did not have a lot of good shit. I like minus Nebula plus Killmonger for sure here, I think. Nebula's not doing a lot of stuff that we like. Killmonger is just good in a lot of different spots. Yeah, remembered we were Hawk, yeah. Probably pulled a bunch of rocks, yeah. Bunch of rocks, bunch of fours. We got the pig. Misty. All right. Let's pig. I want to know what the pig is going to hit. Yeah, everyone's gone greedy. The deck they're playing is good. I think we need to just have Killmonger in here and we're good, though. Like, Killmonger in here. Oh, blew up a Moon Girl. And that's the most expensive thing they have. Magic. All right, that's not great. We might be able to put a Shang-Chi in that dark dimension. Depending on where this sunspot goes, over the course of 7 turns, it might actually get big enough to die. Darkhawk, Jeff, or Korg on this Iron Lad. Okay, they full soak. Korg. All right, that sucks. I don't know how big the Hulk is. Let's fucking find out. They're snapping. Okay. I genuinely have no idea how big the Hulk is. I'm about to find out, I assume. Wait, they played 3 cards. They watching me? They watching me? Is that what's happening here? That is just fucking abysmal. Very long delay into boomer snap into 4-on-3. That felt really strange, I would agree. All right, I'm sorry to do this. Why would they play mid if they were watching you? For BM? To stunt. People do that a lot. Because they knew for a fact. Why would they play mid if they weren't? Why would they ever play mid? Yeah, it would never matter where they played their last card. Your cover's not up. I gave up. It's fine. It's fine. They get me. Cards? Okay. They could be playing both. Oh no, they are only playing Infinite. There's no Hulk in there. Oh, Quantum Realm is pretty good for us if we can draw some cards that do stuff there. I have learned that I really want to put Killmonger in this deck. That is what I have learned. There's an Infinite playing Spider-Ham is kind of scary. Nah, it's fine. Honestly, it is straight up fine. This sucks! The all unplayables over here. Holy cow. Who can I sub up for Nebula? Play Killmonger. Better anyway. That's the swap we're going to make after this game regardless. Maybe we'll hit a She-Hulk. Does this even make sense, though? It doesn't. Oh, this kind of does. Zabu? Korg, no! Oh, God. Oh, God. I mean, they have priority, don't they? Did we get the read? Yes, we fucking did. Another victory for the sniper shield, baby. Another dub on the sniper shield. Let's fucking go. Okay. Is Scarlet Witch worth it? Maybe. Is he cooking? Mr. Boomerang, are you cooking? Tell me. Tell me if you're cooking. Just gonna win the high roll here, right? Every time? Every time winning the high roll? Oh, fuck. Alright, fair enough. Oh, snap. I don't care why Marvel Snap doesn't use the Hulk to advertise more. He's basically one big banner. All right, chat. Is he cooking? Is he cooking? Manage poll, new poll. Is he cooking? Yes or no? If he's not cooking, he does get banned. Those are the facts. Hit him with the double discard, baby. There goes a Wasp and a Moon Girl. Cool. Do we ever win this? I have no idea. Oh, wait, it's just one guy? Then yeah, we always win it. I thought it would be more than one guy. My bad. I was like, oh, it's going to be like more than just the Infinite. It was the She-Hulk too. But no. If it was just that, we're always winning. Easy dub. Easy dub. Easy dub. Easy dub.